Everybody's here, so come on now. What are you doing? All right. So we are beginning tonight on page 105 in the workbook and on page 59 in the book. All right. Did anybody have any problems with the imperfect active? No? Yes? I covered all of it. To me, it's really a simple ideal. It's just a continuous action in past time.
Right.
So whatever was going on back there, this is the way they use it. It's imperfect tense. Now, imperfect, middle, and passive is going to be the same principle as the present active and, present, middle, and passive. Only again, it's going to be bringing out some things they were doing in that past tense, okay? And we really still haven't got to the aorist tense yet. The aorist tense, more than anything else, is just simply, it just describes the action. So with that in mind, let's kind of go through the book and we'll work through some of the problems together, okay? Again, as always, let's say the words together. I'm on page, again, 59 of the workbook. Excuse me. Huh? You say anything? We're going to say the words together, and then we'll pick up page 59 of the book, and we'll start answering some of the questions. Before we go any further, let's pray. Seth, would you lead us, please, brother? Thank you.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for this time that we have together. Heavenly Father, thank you for this word that you've given us. Thank you for giving us the strength and ability to study it further. Heavenly Father, please continue to give us that strength. Heavenly Father, thank you for all those who work so hard to teach and make us better at what we do here. Heavenly Father, please help us to take this information, not to keep it to ourselves, but to also, once we've studied it, to give it to others as well. Heavenly Father, please be with us as we go through this class. Please forgive us for our sins. In Christ's name we pray.
Amen. Thank you. All righty. Lesson 13. Imperfect, middle, and passive indicative. The first word, apothenesco.
Apothenesco.
Apothenesco. Apothenesco. Okay? So let's say it together. Apothenesco.
Apothenesco.
There you go. I die. All right? So there, and again, in all the things we've studied up till now, you'll find it in the present, active, middle, and passive, that word. All right? To biblion.
To biblion.
That's where we get the word Bible. Biblion is book. Okay? That's actually where we get the word Bible. All right? It's simply put, to biblion. And notice, what is that? That is a neuter word, right? We know that because?
The article.
The ending of the word plus the article. That's exactly right. To daimonion.
To daimonion.
And who is that?
Demon.
What is that? A demon. To daimonion. Dunamai.
Dunamai.
I can or I am able. Now again, it has the word behind that D behind it. What does that mean? It's a deponent or a defective, which means that it will have middle and passive endings. Middle and passive endings, but it will be translated in the active sense. Okay. All right. So just always, that's one thing that always throws it. So it's always going to have these middle and passive endings through here, but it's going to what? It's going to be translated in the active sense. So I can and I'm able. Ekbalo.
Ekbalo.
Ekbalo is I drive out or I throw out. The word balo is I throw or I cast. Ek, out, is the preposition out of. So you could say I throw out, I drive out, something along that line. All right. Ek peruomai. Ek peruomai.
Ek.
Right. I go out, I come out. All right. Ethus.
Ethus.
Ethus, immediately. And it's an adverb. And this is one of whose favorite words? Which one of the gospel writers uses this word more than any? Mark. He will say immediately, or if you're reading from the King James Version, it'll be translated straightway.
Yeah.
This is one of his favorite words. Why? Because Mark is really trying to emphasize the action of Jesus. So you'll see this over and over again in Mark. All right, now you have the hey. Now, we know that hey is what? Well, It's a feminine article, right? But notice this one has an accent on it. That means or. Okay? It's a conjunction, and it can mean or. So again, just like alte, it's one of those things that we've got to keep in our minds. If you see an accent plus the breathing on this, then what is going to be the conjunction, not the article? All right? All right? Everybody's got that, right?
Yes.
All right. That's why you got to look real close at those little markings sometimes. All right. Thalassa, see?
Thalassa.
Thalassa, see. And again, what kind of noun is that? Masculine or feminine? And we know that from
The ending.
the article as well as
Ending.
the ending of the word. Very good. Very, very good. Ho thronos.
Oh, Throno.
Ho thronos.
Ho
That all
thronos.
remind us what? Throne. That's simple. That's a simple word to kind of help you remind us. So again, when you say the words in that respect, it will help you to kind of get some of those words in mind. Katharizo.
Catharines.
Catarizo.
Katharizo, which means I cleanse or I purify. We use the word sometimes, well, not a lot, but we talk about catharsis, about a cleansing, feeling better about something. So when we go through something like that as a catharsis, it helps us in that respect. All right. Uday.
Uday.
Uday. And not, nor, not even. So this is another one of this. And again, it's like kai. It's a conjunction. Uday means neither nor. Okay? Neither this nor that. Uday. All right? Un. Yeah, un. Therefore or then. Okay? Therefore or then. Now, I've often said this. This is something to keep in your mind every time you're studying the Bible. Whenever you find the word therefore in the Bible, what do you need to do?
That's why it's there for.
Yeah. You need to try to remember what the therefore is there for. Therefore is one of those, those little things like that helps us remember. Therefore is one of those words that connect all the ideas earlier to what he's about to present here. So every time you see the word therefore in the Bible, realize that he's drawing a conclusion and then going to take us somewhere else. Paul is great at this. He does a great job with this. Chapter 5 and verse 1 of Romans, therefore, having been justified by faith. Well, the first 4 chapters has talked about that. So he's reached his conclusion. Now, because we're all justified by faith, what ought to happen? Chapter 8, verse 1, therefore, having no condemnation in Christ. So again, he's made that conclusion from chapter 6 and 7. Now, all of a sudden, chapter 8, he's made the conclusion, and now he's going to go on to something else. So always, and when you're teaching a Bible class, always emphasize that idea about therefore. All right? Know what the therefore is there for. All right, ute. Ute, not, no, or nor, okay? Ploion. Ploion is a boat. Okay, ploion to, and again, that's a neuter. And then the word te. Here's te. And again, it could be translated and, but it is a weaker article than the conjunction kai. Okay? All right. Now again, the middle and passive of the imperfect are identical in form just as they are in the present tense. The difference between the two voices is one of function and can only be determined by context. So you've heard me say that over and over and over again. So again, to form this tense, place the augment before the present stem. So again, if you have the word luo, okay, so you have luo. So I want the middle or the passive form of it, of imperfect. I'll put the augment, the epsilon, take the stem, L, lu. Now, because there's an O, you'd have O, and then you have the endings on the very next page. Eluomain, elu, eluato, eluomatha, eluesthe, eluonto. And again, they're going to be the same in all those situations. So there's the word for eluo, okay? That's luo. Now, you do that with didasco. You do that with grapho. You do that with all the verbs when you're trying to find this out. And you remember one of the assignments they gave in the book is you write out all the verbs that you've learned up till now and write them all out in the present tense, in the passive, or the present, middle, and passive, and then you also do it in the imperfect. You do that. If you write all that out, I guarantee you, you'll know it. Okay? But it's going to take you some time to do it, right? How many of you got the extra time to do all that with? You do? Can I borrow some? No, anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. All right, so again, that's all we're doing. And that page there, 59, talks about how thus the sequence is the augment plus the present stem plus the connecting vowel, which is always an omicron or an epsilon, plus the ending. And again, so you have elu omain. And there's the imperfect middle on page 60 and passive. Verbs, again, that are defective or deponent in the present are also defective in the imperfect. So in these cases, there is no active form, and the middle and the passive form will have the active function. So you have the verb erkomai in the imperfect is he erkomain. Now, how did that change? Notice you have erkomai.
Yes, that's everyone.
All right, so let's kind of decipher how it got to that point. Again, knowing the way the words are formed helps us out a little bit, all right? So you have erkomai. Erkomai, there we go. All right, and we also know that that's a deponent. Wait a minute, let me see where that's, okay. All right, so. Yeah, I had it right. All right. So it now becomes, hey, erko main. Now, why did this become an eta? Excuse me. Yeah, an eta. This is an epsilon. This is an eta. Why did that come that way? That way.
When you add the
extra function.
You actually have to add an E here to make it that way, so the two E's together will contract and form that. Okay? And then you add just simply the ending here, omain. So that's how that plays out. So that sometimes will throw us. And especially if you don't stay on top of this like that. You did see last week, I did show you a copy of that book, right? That's why I strongly encourage you to get that book. I can't emphasize that enough. Because sometimes you may go through this in your mind over and over and over again, but if you don't stay on top of it over the years, then you'll look at it again and say, what is this? Pull that book out, kind of go back over it again. All righty? Perumai is a perumai, okay? So that's how it is. All right, conjunctions in the Greek do what? What do conjunctions do? Connect sentences or clauses or phrases and words, okay? So we've studied one of the greatest conjunctions is what we've studied up to now. And, which is kai. Right. So what we've done today is we've studied a few more of them. Now there's two main types in the New Testament. They're coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions connect usually two equal grammatical elements. So if you have a compound sentence, then it's going to be using that. A subordinating conjunction introduces dependent clauses. Examples of coordinating conjunctions used frequently are kai, day. What is day? But or and in the situation, some depending on the context. Te is what? Te is another word for and, only it's not as strong as kai. Okay. Then you have hey, Allah, ute. Remember, we've already studied Allah. That's a very strong form of the word but. Ute, ude, and un. The subordinating conjunctions are hoti and ina, in order that and because, something along that line. All right. A conjunction often expresses a change in the progression of thought. In Romans 12, verse 1, where the conjunction un therefore leads to an entirely new subject in the epistle. So you have perikalo un hemas adelphoi. I urge you, therefore, you brothers, or I urge you, therefore, brothers. All right, so here you have a change in the progression of thought. Kai has other uses even as a simple connective, since it's often used to mean also or even. How would we determine? Context. It appears when it's used to connect two things together, it appears immediately in front of the word which is connected. So you have this example here, ebaptiza, I baptized, de kai ton Stephana oikon. I baptized what? The household of Stephanus and, or also. So here the word kai is using here what? In an also sense. And again, the way we know that is, it wouldn't make a sense. But I baptized and the house of Stephanus. So there in that sense, if we even said that, we're saying, what is that in there? No, just say no, also. Immediately, that would help us to think about that. Mm-hmm. Remember, kai can also be used as a correlative, which means both this and that. All right. The conjunction te is used much like kai as a connecting particle and also has a correlative meaning, both and. So again, a correlative conjunction implies a reciprocal or a complementary relationship. What do we mean by a reciprocal relationship? Yeah, they're working it out with one another. What do we mean by a complementary relationship? We're adding to it, right? I've already done something, he adds to it or she adds to it. So again, in that respect, you have both and, all right? Sometimes you might have te, which may be te, or te kai, or you might even have te kai together. And again, it's a proclitic. What is that? What is a proclitic? Back to chapter 9. That's right. It's the opposite of an enclitic. Very, very good. Now, what is an enclitic? You knew I was going to ask that, right? Veronica, you make this fun, and I enjoy it, and I appreciate that. Chapter 9. Let's go back to what an enclitic and proclitic is, all right?
To the preceding
Chapter
word.
9 tells us that, and I quote, we're on page, page 43. A proclitic is so closely associated with the following word that it has no accent of its own and is pronounced as a part of that word. Okay? An enclitic joins to the preceding word that it loses its accent. So this is a proclitic. It's not going to lose its accent. So you have the example here back on page 61. Helason te kai barbarois. Okay, barbarois. What is that? The barbarians. Okay. Sophois te kai enantois. Opheletes emi. All right, so what's he saying? To the Greeks, both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, te kai, both to the wise and to the foolish, or the unwise, depending on what version you're translating from. I am a debtor. I'm a debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, to the wise and to the unwise. Romans 1, verse 14. Ude can be a simple negative connective and is translated and not or nor. So you have uk estin, mathetes, huper ton didaskalon, ude doulos, huper ton kurion autou. All right. You have, where's the subject? It's mathetes. But notice there's not what? There's not an article here. So here we're translating it what? Just simply disciple or a disciple, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Where's the verb? Estin, which is the verb of being. And again, as we think it's the verb of being, therefore it simply is. All right. A disciple is not ukestin, above, huper, the teacher of him, nor the servant above the Lord of him. So a disciple is not above his teacher, nor is a servant above his Lord. And here you have ude in that sentence. So it's just kind of just and not or nor. All right. And sometimes the word ude is used emphatically and should be translated not even. How can we tell the difference? Always by the context. Have you heard me hear that? 2 quarters now, you've heard me say that over and over. I can't stress it enough. So you have the next example. Ude Solomon in passe te doxe autu peri ebalato os in tuton. Not even Solomon in all the glory of him and all his glory was dressed like one of these. You have sometimes the third use of ude, which is correlative, like ude, sperusen, ude, therudusen, ude, sunagusen, ace, apothenekos. They do not sow, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns. All right, that's a pretty simple lesson, isn't it? Right? Now, who wants to start attacking this? All right, let's go through it. Okay, let's go now to the workbook. All right. Excuse me. Some supplementary vocabulary here is akathartos. Akathartos. I studied a little bit of katharizo is I cleanse or I purify. Kathartos is to clean. So you have alpha in front of it. This is what is called the alpha privative. Big word simply saying this. The alpha privative just negates the word. All right, so you have akar. I'm sorry, I messed up. Cathar. I knew something was not right there. Cathartos. So you have cathartos, where we get again catharsis, cleansing. The alpha privative negates it. What's some other words?
Apathos.
Huh?
With the alpha primitive?
Yeah, the alpha privative.
Apathos.
Apathos, okay. You're not what? What is pathos?
Pathos is passion.
Yeah, you're not passionate. A word that we hear a lot today. Atheu. Atheu, where we get the word atheists. No God. There is no God. So this alpha privative a lot of times will just be the thing that's added there to deny it. Okay? All right? No. I'm talking about the letter alpha right there. The alpha.
How did you get all that out of just the alpha?
Because depending on how, so you have an atheist. All right? Atheist. How do you make that word? Well, an atheist is a person that does not believe in God. All right, so think about that. What is the word for God? Theos? Right? So now you put the alpha in front of it, no God. And that's, you see, that's all it's saying. That's all it is. There's no, we're not worried about the accent or anything. I'm just saying that this is something you'll find over and over again. And so sometimes if you don't recognize it because the alpha, just maybe if you can, drop it. Now, it's not true of every word. But if there's a word behind it that can stand by itself and you drop it, then if you know the meaning of this word, just say this is not that. Okay? Okay? So just understand that. Anakoreo. Anakoreo. I withdraw. I'm going backwards. All right? Baptisma.
Baptisma.
We know what that is. All right? This is a neuter form. This is a noun form of the word baptizo. Okay? Where I baptize. Aeon. Aeon. This is used with the subjunctive mood. Now, we've talked a little bit about the subjunctive mood, but again, the subjunctive mood always expresses a will or a wish. So, if this happens, then this will happen. So that's kind of what he's playing out there. It's kind of a logical thing. It's the idea, if you use the word if, this is very well could be what possibly happens. Zao, I live.
Zao,
I live. He ordained, okay. He ordanes, Jordan. I don't know about you, but it seems like I have a little bit harder time pronouncing the actual personal proper nouns. So, Iodanes, I seem to have a lot more problems with those than I do some of the others. Katerkomai,
Katerkomai.
Katerkomai, I go down, or I'm going down. Upo,
Upo.
Upo, not yet. Pneuma,
Nirma.
Pneuma,
Pneuma.
Pneuma,
Pneuma.
Pneuma. Now, think about it. We say it's spirit, but we use the word a lot. Well, we don't use it that often. You've heard of pneumatic tires. Pneumatic tires. What is that? It's tires that fill with air. Every tire that you're driving is a tire that's filled with air. So pneuma, that's where that gets the word. It could mean air sometimes. Context. Okay? Pneuma. Pothen. Pothen. Pothen.
Pothen.
Pothen. From where? And potamos. Potamos is a river. All right? Now, the middle and passive forms of the imperfect are identical as they are in the present tense. How can you differentiate between the two voices?
Context.
Context. Very good. The imperfect tense uses the stem of the present tense on which it builds its form. Therefore, if you sought to conjugate the imperfect middle passive indicative of luo, you would build on the present stem what?
Lu.
Lu. Lu. There you go. There you go. The four component parts of the imperfect middle or passive are the augment, which it will be an epsilon. All right. And again, sometimes it will change a word that already starts with an epsilon to a what? An eta. So just watch for those things. Secondly, you have the present stem. Then you have the connecting vowel, which will either be an omicron or a epsilon or an epsilon. And then you have the middle and passive ending. Verbs that are defective or deponent in the present tense are also defective in the imperfect tense. There is no active form of the deponent verb, therefore the middle passive form will also have the active function. Again, you got to watch for those particular verbs. Conjunctions are used in both Greek and English to connect sentences, clauses, phrases. The two main types of conjunctions are Coordinating conjunction, which connects two equal grammatical elements. Subordinating conjunctions introduce dependent clauses. And again, conjunctions often express a change in the progression of a thought in the sentence. All right? Again, 13.3, Kai has other uses than the simple connective and is often used to mean also or even and demonstrate emphasis. When Kai is used to mean also or even, where is it placed in the sentence?
In front of the word described.
Right, in front of the words it's connecting with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what determines the meaning of Kai in a sentence? Its position
Context.
and always. Just say context to every question I answer, right? All right, the conjunction what is used less like Kai as a connecting particle?
Te.
Te. And again, what does a correlative conjunction imply? A reciprocal or complementary relationship. Ude can be a simple negative connective and is translated how? Not or nor, okay, and not or nor. Sometimes ude is used emphatically and should be translated not even. And a third use is correlative, in which ude and ude is translated how? And neither or nor. Right, that's right. All right, and let's do number one. We're here, we're ready. Okay, I'll do the very first one. Isn't that nice of me?
I was going to do it.
Huh? That one's easy? Okay, well, you go ahead and do it then.
No.
Go ahead. Sound the sentence out.
Oh no. It is hoy.
It's hoy. Oh.
Ho.
Oh, not hoy.
Ho. And
No. Ho. Jesus.
right.
Jesus. And again, that's where I see you keep looking at that and say, oh, that's an N. It's not an N, it's an eta. So just keep that in mind. All right. Ho Jesus,
Apo.
apo,
Tu. Iri.
heru,
Iri.
heru, epor, eporuto, eporuto. Okay. Okay, eporuto. All right, now, what's your translation?
Jesus went away from the temple.
Okay. Or Jesus was going away from the temple. Went away, going, he's leaving, in essence, what it's saying there. Okay, very good. Why is the definite article ho not translated in the phrase ho Jesus? Because?
Because it's a pronoun.
Well, no, it's not. Ho is a article here, so, okay, yeah. But it's a proper noun. Therefore, it's not really needed. You're not going to say the Jesus. You're going to say Jesus. Okay, right?
I use like proper nouns, like interchangeably.
Yeah, well, pronouns and proper nouns are not quite the same. Right? But you're doing well. You're doing well. All right. So, what is the significance of the presence of the definite article in this phrase? Huh?
The stress of the subject.
Yeah, it's used to emphasize Jesus as the subject of the sentence. So that's it. Very, very good. Very good. All right. Number B.
It's ablative because he's going away from the
Right. It's ablative. Very good.
and the preposition.
How do you determine it? Apo uses the ablative case and
The temple is ablative
right.
context.
Context. There you go. The context. Remember what I said? Every question answer with context. Okay. All right. What time element is expressed by the augment in eperuato?
Past tense.
Continuous action in the past. Therefore, what do we call it? Imperfect.
Perfect.
Imperfect.
Imperfect. It is continuous action in the past. Okay. All righty. Very good. Very, very good.
Tommy,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I could barely hear that. The number one. How did we translate it? I want to make sure I got that right.
Okay. Ho Jesus apo tu hieru eperuato.
Uh-huh.
Jesus was going from the temple.
Okay, I got it. All right.
Or you could, and again, the more literal phrase is Jesus from the temple was going away or leaving. All right. Anything along that line. All right. If we're trying to get it again, when we're trying to get things from Greek to English, we use it the way we would say. So if I say Jesus from the temple was going, y'all would probably say, why'd you say it like that? But again, in the Greek, what was his point? He was talking about specifically where he was going from.
Right.
It wasn't so much that, and it's also interesting there in that context of Matthew 24, you also find it in Mark chapter 13, that this is the last time that Jesus enters the temple. And he had done some preaching and teaching there. And this is the last time he's leaving the temple. Right after this, what happens? He's crucified. So he's leaving the temple for the last time. And as he leaves, Matthew 23 leaves us with the idea that he's crying, weeping, because he knows what's about to happen. Not his death, but he knows Jerusalem is going to be torn apart by the Roman armies. Okay. He's crying for the people. All right, number 2. Kai ologoi, kai ididakai, ton propheton, hekuonto, hupo ton harmartalon. All right. Here we go. Ready? That was a mouthful, wasn't it? All right, here we go. Kai hologoi, kai ididakai, ton propheton, hekuonto, hupo ton harmartalon. Both the words and the teachings of the prophets were being heard by the sinners. Very good. Very good. All right. What did you get?
I didn't do the right, I put a word hearing. I didn't do the right tense.
Both the words and the teachings of the prophet were being heard. Remember, so it's imperfect tense. So it was continuous in the past. So you just put they heard. They heard. That's wrong. They heard, right? Okay. They were being heard. You've got to, as you're doing the imperfect, always try to remember that this is continuous action and you have to get that idea across. So they were being heard. This is what was happening in the past, yes, but they were constantly hearing. It was continuous action. So that's the reason why you said it. All right. What is the subject of hekuonto? The words and teachings. What is the significance of the articles preceding the subject? Again, oi logoi, that means it's a masculine noun, right? I didaskai, what? That's a feminine noun. All righty. Both are in this nominative case. Both are plural articles. One is masculine, one is feminine. Again, locate didakai. It's a noun of the feminine. It's a nominative case, plural, first declension of didake. Didake. Is tone prophetone genitive or ablative?
Genitive.
Genitive, very good. It's a masculine noun of the first declension. And again, how could we be sure again from the lexical form? All right, anybody want to take number 3?
I'll try it.
All right, Chuck. Chuck's going to try it.
Yeah, bear with me.
All righty.
In ekenes tes emepas
Mayrice.
emepas.
Hey, Mayrice.
I'm sorry, it just
Hey, Mayrice.
Ude edidescometha. Oop.
Didaskomatha.
What did I say? Edidescometha.
Yeah. Didaskomatha. Yeah.
Edidescometha. Oh, I'm sorry, the accent.
Right.
Oop. Altu. Ude. Edidescomen tus alus.
Okay.
All right.
All righty.
In those days, we were neither being taught by him, nor were we teaching the others or others.
That's right.
Okay.
You got it. You got it. In those days, we were neither being taught by him, nor were we teaching the others. Let me go over it again. In those days, we were neither being taught by him, edidaskomatha, nor were we teaching the others. Okay? All right. Did you get close to it? Okay. In what use is a kinase?
I don't know. Only thing I didn't answer. I don't know.
Kinase is what? It's a demonstrative pronoun, and it's a far demonstrative pronoun. So it's talking about those days, not this day. This is close. Those are far. Okay. So that's suggesting there. All right.
Okay.
It's a far, as I wrote it down, it's a far remote demonstrative. All righty.
Okay.
Modifying days. All right.
Okay.
Is Hemerice dative, locative, or instrumental?
Locative?
Locative, because it's talking about a location during what time was this going on. It was going on in those days. All right. Is the use of ude in this sentence connective, emphatic, or correlative?
Correlative.
There you go. And what do we mean by correlative?
It means neither nor.
Right, right. And so it's comparing these two clauses in that sentence. Very good. Is alus in the predicate, attributive, or substantive use?
Substantive.
Substantive. And again, how did you translate this adjective?
Others.
Others. All right. And what is the significant? Adjective sometimes functions as a noun. An adjective sometimes functions as a noun. All right, next one. Anybody want to take that one?
I'll do it.
Okay, Justin.
Number four.
Number 4, yes, sir.
I baptizanto up all two.
Okay, it's abaptizonto. Abaptizonto.
Abaptizo.
Abaptizonto.
Baptizo.
Oop.
Oop.
Oop, not okay.
Okay.
Abaptizonto hoop autu.
Hoop. Out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hupo. Now notice what's happened with hupo. The last omicron's been deleted or dropped. Why? Because the next word starts with a what?
Vowel.
Vowel. That's right. So how do you translate this?
They were baptized by him.
Okay. That's the idea you got to try to get across. And again, this is what sometimes is hard to do. This is continuous action. So it's not, you're right, they were being baptized. The phrase is they were being baptized by him. So it's suggesting in the past tense, but it's suggesting an action that is continuing in the past tense.
Okay.
So it wasn't they just being baptized by him, because being baptized means what? Just that one time. But they were being baptized by him. So in the context of this, who's he talking about? John the Baptist. And all those people were being baptized. Of course, they were all baptized one time, right? They didn't continue through baptism. But he's talking about the entire crowd. So that's going to continue on for a while, baptizing ever how many people he had to baptize. You know, one of the great arguments in Acts chapter 2 is how long did it take to baptize 3,000 that day? And somebody has actually figured it out with all the pools around, all the baptismal places where they can wash and things like that. They figured it'd probably take maybe 4 to 5 hours to baptize 3,000 people. And again, that's just baptizing them and going through there. So that was continuous. It suggests the idea of continuous action in past time. All right, go ahead.
You want me to do A?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
It's a verb. It's in the tense is imperfect. The voice is middle or passive.
Middle or passive?
Middle or passive. The augment. I'm sorry.
Middle or passive?
Passive.
Right. Why?
Because the action was being done by someone else.
Right. And the middle was always talking about it somehow or another, always comes back to the person. So he's not baptizing himself. He's being baptized by somebody else. Therefore, it's in the passive voice. Very good.
The augment is the epsilon.
Right.
It's third person, plural.
Right.
Baptize is the stem. The ending is the onto.
Right.
A connecting vowel, the omicron or the O.
Right.
The mood was indicative. The lexical form baptizo, and the subject was they.
Okay. And where do you find they? It's inherent in what?
The ending.
It's inherent in the word baptizon. Baptizonto. There you go. All right. And I've already answered part B there, but go ahead again.
Why is upo spelled oop in this sentence? It's because the following word starts with a vowel.
Very good. Is it genitive or ablative?
Ablative.
Okay. What makes you say that?
That's a guess.
Well, you're honest, and I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, I think it's in genitive here in this case. It's not showing any motion from or going away from anything. It just
Okay.
says they're just being baptized by him. If it was in the ablative, it would show a separation somehow or another. So there's no separation here. They were just being baptized by him. That's all it's saying. So I think it's in the genitive in this case.
Okay.
Okay. All righty. You had a 50-50 chance of getting it.
Yes, sir.
All righty. You know, we got to laugh about stuff like this, right? But you're learning. That's what I'm saying. You know, think about this. I keep trying to emphasize this to you. 6 months ago, you could hardly say Greek. Now look at you. You're translating sentences. I believe in you, and you need to believe in yourself, okay, and keep studying it. All right. Number 5. You want to take this one, Seth?
I think I almost got it translated. So,
Okay, give us what you got. We'll help you out.
okay. So, Agatha, Dora, Ethereto, Pros, Tus, Agathus, Adelphos.
Okay.
Okay. And I think he was bearing good gifts toward the good brothers. For the good brothers.
Okay.
Did I not finish it over?
No.
Okay. Here's what I got, and I'm trying to make sure I've got it right. I've got he himself was bringing good gifts to the good brothers. I'm translating epherato in the middle voice. Okay? Which means, again, here's the word now. Epherato is, again, imperfect, middle or passive. Pharaoh, which is I bear or bring. So we're looking at this in the imperfect tense. So he's bringing in these good gifts. He's bringing these things. Now, the question is it passive or middle? Was somebody bringing the good gifts to him, or was he himself bringing the good gifts? Yeah. So he himself was bringing what? The good gifts to the good brothers. Okay. Very good. Very, very good. Is Agatha attributive, predicative, or substantive? Is it attributive, predicate, or substantive? Okay, how did you word it?
I mean, I don't know how it's worded, so it's okay.
Huh?
I don't know, it's essentially
Okay, all righty. I'm going to say it's attributive because it describes what? It describes the gifts. All right. So that's it. It's describing the gifts. All right. So I'm going to say it's attributive case. Okay. Dissect and parse epherato.
verb is imperfect tense.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Middle
voice.
But what's the mood? The mood is indicative.
Yeah, mood is indicative. You haven't learned anything but indicative right now in the mood, but you've got subjunctive and you've got some others down the line too. So that's a whole nother place. So it's imperfect, middle, indicative. Very good.
The E, persons, augment, first person single. The lexical form is
Pharaoh. Very good.
the sin is
Fair.
fair.
Okay.
The ending, I separated the vowel from the ending. The ending with the vowel in
Yeah.
it.
All the ending is going to be
The
eto.
ET,
Yeah. Eto.
or the
Connecting vowel is what?
epsilon.
Right. So the augment and the connecting vowel in this situation are both epsilons, right? And the subject is where?
In the verb.
Is in the verb. Very, very good. Very, very good. All righty. Number 6. Here we go. I guess it's my turn again, right? All about has had their chance. So here we go. Blefusin ton kurion ente doxe autu kai edidaskonto hup autu kai entais e merais tais kakais. So here's what I've got. Are you ready? They see the Lord in his glory, both being taught by him and in the evil days. All righty. Where'd everybody scratching their head or laughing or something like that? Let me say it again. They see the Lord in his glory. Well, that first part of the sentence is pretty simple, isn't it? That's simple. Because that's present tense. They see. Ton kurion, we know that's the accusative case. Ente doxe, of him. So in the Lord in his glory. Both. Now here you have kai. So now you're going to have both and. Okay. Both being taught by him. Edidaskonto. All right. And entais hemerais tais kaikais. They were being both taught by him, and it was happening when? In the evil days.
Yeah. I got it.
Got it? Good. Any problems there? Any questions? Any comments? All right. The first part of it is they see the Lord in his glory. You already got that part. Both being taught by him. Being taught is from edidaskonto. Okay, so he is teaching, only it's in the imperfect tense. So they were being taught, all right? They were being taught by him. And when were they being taught? In the evil days. Tais entais hemerais tais kakais. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Dissect and parse blepusin. It's a verb, present active indicative. There is no augment because this is the present tense. Third person plural. Blepo is the lexical form. The stem is blep. The ending is usin. The connecting vowel is omicron. And again, the subject is inherent in the verb. It's doxe, dative, locative, or instrumental. I think it's in the locative because it's describing the location. They see the Lord where? Where do they see the Lord? Not just to his glory, but in his glory. So it's suggesting the idea of that. And again, the context of the word in the sentence.
Hey, Tommy, I got a question on that one because
Okay.
I was really torn between locative or instrumental.
Okay.
And the reason is, do you see why I might think about instrumental? The idea that's how they see the Lord is in his glory. Maybe I'm stretching that, but it seemed like it could go either way. When I'm thinking of locative, I'm thinking of like a place, a location, that idea. But the idea of see him in his glory is what's used to, it's instrumental in seeing him. Do you see where I'm talking? You see what I'm talking about?
I think I can see that. I can see that.
But I'm wrong.
I think in this sentence, just with what we have, if there's more bigger context, obviously, it could be instrumental. But just in this context, I lean first to the locative.
Okay.
That's me. But I see what you're saying. It could very well fit that if we had a bigger context.
Okay.
That's me. Okay. All right. Is edidaskonto descriptive, iterative, or inceptive? It's descriptive. What's happening? It's picture the movement of an event. In other words, he's continually teaching, but it's in the past. So what's he doing? He's continually teaching by being taught, both being taught by him. All right. Is edidaskonto active, middle, or passive in voice? Again, it's going to be what? They were being taught, so they're being taught, so it's passive. All right. They see the Lord in his glory, both being taught hupo autu. Well, where does that hupo autu go to? The only place it could go to is back to the Lord. It has to go back to the Lord because we don't see anything else in the sentence that serves as the accusative case, do we? No. So it has to go back to it in that respect. So that's where we get that. All righty. That was a big one. That cleared everybody's sinuses, didn't it? All righty. All right. Believe it or not, our hour is past. We've had so much fun. You're doing a great job. Do what? Yes, it was. It was. Finish up the rest of the imperfect, middle, and passive indicative. Finish the rest of this, and what I'll try to do again between now and next week is give you another supplemental video so you can kind of check everything. Go ahead and start working on the future middle and active indicative. So we've studied the present tense. Now we're studying the imperfect tense. And then we're going to study the future tense. Okay? And again, let me just simply say this. The future tense is simple. You can always check the future tense out because there's going to be a sigma. There's always going to be a sigma in the word. All righty? There will be a sigma in the word. And that's the reason why we'll know it. The future stem is usually formed by adding a sigma to the present stem. So if you wanted to conjugate the future active or middle indicative of luo, you would start off with the stem lu, and you just add a sigma to it. So it would be luso, lusomin, lusate, lusomatha, or excuse me, lusomin, lusate, luo, lusace, luso, lusace, lusay. Lusamin, lusate, lususes. Okay? Now, when you start that, that's a simple, just look for the sigma. And that's going to tell you it's going to be in the future. So what if you're saying, I will be doing something. I will do this in the future. I'm not doing it right now, but I will do this in the future. That's the simple part of it. Okay? This is going to be probably one of the simplest ways that we go through there. All righty?
It's like chapter 3.
Yeah. Because it's present tense, you're still going to have the same tense like luo, luash, lue, luamen, luate, luusi. Okay? Now, when you get into the middle, then you're going to have lusonto, luso, all the middle endings there. All right? Now, why do you think he doesn't mention future passive? Right. Very good. Very, very, very good. Okay. So we'll pick up there next week. Good job. You're doing a good work. Everybody's pulling out an A out of this class, even though I've not given you any time. I'm really grading you this time more, not so much on the words and the vocabulary as much as your participation. Everybody's pulling out an A. Okay. So keep it up. That doesn't give you a pass on learning the vocabulary. Okay, I want to emphasize that. That does not give you a pass on learning the vocabulary, but you're getting it. And that's what I think is important. Thank you guys very, very much. Appreciate all of it. Keep up the good work.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.